Right, got it. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Wednesday morning stretching with strength. And today we're going to start at the feet and work our way up. So go ahead and grab a yoga block. Grab a little prop for the back of your head. It can be a pillow. I've got this little ball that I love to use. It's a weighted ball, but it's kind of squishy, not too terribly hard. We're going to want that and a yoga block. So when you are ready, let's take the yoga block and just put it between our knees because we're going to use every opportunity to use all our muscles to get down to the floor. So start in a seated position. Take the yoga block and squeeze the yoga block with your knees. When you're squeezing the yoga block with your knees, you're actually using these muscles on the inside of your thighs, your adductors, and you are opening up the outside of your thighs by doing that. So take the yoga block, send your arms out straight out from your shoulders, pull your navel into your spine, and we're just going to roll the spine down to the ground, one vertebrae at a time. Remember, we've been sleeping in a couple different positions probably for a good 6 to 8 hours. And we want that spine and all the juices that flowed through it to get moved around too. So using that little move to get you down to the floor is very helpful for your spine. So I am going to take this ball and put it behind my head, just to give my neck a little tilt down towards the floor, because we're wanting to keep our navel pressed into our spine as we do these things. And by doing so, you're tilting your low back into the floor. So you also want your neck to round into the floor. Now you can keep your head flat on the floor and just lengthen your spine so the back of your head is on the floor and your neck is nice and long. So go ahead and take your yoga block away from between your knees. What we're going to do is we're going to take our right knee and bring it up towards our chest. So see where you can go with that. All right. Now let's just open up that hip flexor. Let's get that a little loose before we start with the ankles. So once you bring your knee to your hand, I want you to take your hand and block it. You're going to use your hand for a wall and you'll be pushing your knee into your hand. We're going to hold this for 6 seconds. So let's get started. Go ahead and push. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and just let it go. So when you're pushing, you're feeling your low back pressing more into the floor, your navel's pressing into your spine, and your pubic bone is tilting up towards your nose. Let's do it again. Ready? Knee into hand, push. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and release it. It's always a good idea to give it a good count of 6 when you release it. Get that neural input going. Let the body know what you're doing, what you expect of it for the day. We're really getting you warmed up really good and ready for a great day. Let's do that on the other side. So bring your knee up, see where you can go. On me, this side's a little tighter. I feel a little stop a little sooner. That's okay. Go ahead and take your hand, put it in front of your knee. And we're bringing our knee to our hand and pushing our navel into our spine, rounding our back into the floor. Your neck is also nice and long. You can just go ahead and look at that hand and knee and hold it for a couple more seconds. Now release it. So when you bring it back up, see if it gets any closer. See if it's easier to bring it back up. Go ahead and bring it up. And push. Push, 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 push. One more push and release. Nice job, nice job. Let's go back to that right leg. We're going to work at the ankle. So I want you to bring your foot up about 90 degrees from the hip, 90 degrees from the knee, okay? These are great ankle movers. When we get up out of bed, you can do this right in your bed, okay? Because once you hit the floor, your ankles are like, okay, we're moving now. Why don't you give a little heads up? So let's do this. What I want you to think about is not your toes coming back. I want you to think about this top of the foot right here coming to your shin. Forget about the toes. They're going along for the ride. Okay, so just go ahead. We're bracing our knee. You can hold it back here if you want. And go ahead and bring the top of your foot towards your shin. And hold that. So as you do that, you can think of pushing your heel away from your body. We're holding this for about 6 seconds. Let the toes relax. Remember, they're riding along for this one. And release it. Now let's reverse that. So I want you to take the back of the heel toward your calf, the back of your leg. Same thing, the toes are going along for the ride, folks. So go ahead and bring your heel towards the back of your leg. Let your foot point down. Don't go too hard. We don't want any cramping. If you get a cramp, bring it back up. But go ahead and think of the back of the heel going to the back of your calf. So this way, we're really working the ankle joint. We're not just working the toes. And release it. Top of the foot comes back towards your shin. And keep in mind, we've got a nice 90-degree angle here in the leg. Go ahead and pull it back, pull it back. Remember, the toes are riding along. And then bring the heel towards the back of the leg. So the bottom of your foot is pushing towards the floor. That arch is facing the floor. And it's going for a ride. Let's do that one more time. Go ahead and bring the top of the foot. We're working this from the ankle joint. We're working it with all the ligaments right between these two bony parts, your malleoli. And then we're going to reverse that by bringing our heel towards the back of our leg. Nice stretch. If you've got shin splints or anything like that, this is what you want to do. All right, but this will protect you from getting those shin splints. Now, once again, we've got the other leg up, got a 90-degree angle right here at the hip, the knees coming straight up from the hip, and we're going to grab behind our back of our leg, or you can grab along the side of your knees as little guide rails to keep your knee in place. And I want you to think of the top of your foot coming towards your shin. Remember, the toes are going along for the ride. It's kind of hard to leave them out of the picture, but we don't need them right now. We're working that ankle joint. And go ahead and take the back of the heel towards the back of the leg. The arch of your foot should be kind of pointed straight down towards the floor. That's the goal. But the toes are riding along, folks. Bring the top of your foot towards your shin. You're keeping everything else nice and sturdy in place on the floor. And then take the back of your heel towards the back of your leg. And one more, bring the top of your foot towards your shin. And then let's take the back of your heel towards your calf. Now, if you're getting a cramp when you're doing these, just work out of it, So let's take the other leg and we're going to brace our knee. We're going to really hold your leg in place here. Hold your knee in place. We don't want the knee moving when we do this. We just want the ankle to move. And what we're going to do now is we're going to do circles. So just circle it. So by holding the knee in place, you're not getting movement from the knee, from the hip. We just want movement from that ankle. Go ahead and circle. Get out all those pops and cracks. And then reverse that circle. So after doing those point and flex moves, your circles should be a lot better. So let's do the other leg. Equal opportunity here. Get a circle going. Brace that knee. Hold the knee in place. Let's work it from the ankle. If you do not have good movement in your ankles, you probably have some low back pain or some hip pain or some knee pain. And I got to tell you, folks, with all my work with people in muscle work, you could even have shoulder pain from limited range of motion in your ankles. It's very important to keep these ankles happy. They are very important when we're walking, and we got to walk everywhere, right? Okay, let's take this up to the glutes. So we're going to go ahead and get our yoga block again and put it between our knees. So we're going to do this because, like I said before, when we squeeze this yoga block, we're working the muscles on the inside of your leg. So we're going to keep the pelvis lined up. We're going to let those muscles on the inside of our leg keep our hip bones in line as we work our glutes. So what I want you to do is just go ahead and put your hands down alongside your body on the floor, palms down. Get your spine nice and long. So make sure the back of your head is on the floor. Your head's not tilted up back. Keep the back of your head on the floor. So go ahead and squeeze those glutes together. Squeeze those butt cheeks together. Now go ahead, lift it up to the ceiling. Lift where you can go. This is the first one. You might not get as high as you can by the last time we do it. Hold it up there and keep squeezing. Now the key to this is we're squeezing inside the legs, we're squeezing the butt cheeks, and we're going to hold that squeeze as we lower it down to the floor. Hold it nice and steady and release it all. All right, let's do that again. Squeezing the rear end, squeezing the legs together, and pushing your hips up to the ceiling. Your feet are flat on the floor. Your ankles are nice and happy. Push it up, push it up, push it up.
I did it where it was everyone else's fault.
And lower it down. I think we've got an open mic, guys. And release.
I got this wake up moment. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I'm.
Squeeze and lift. Squeeze and lift.
Yours.
Squeeze and lift and hold.
So
If
then it
you
was
guys
like, okay,
can all mute your mics, that would be great.
You mean who I
And
think
drop it down, drop it down, drop it down.
creates my reality?
All righty.
I'm not acceptable anymore.
Let's do one more.
But
Squeeze
and
lift. Lift, 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 lift.
The reality was I wasn't showing up
And lower it
for
down.
who I was. Wasn't them, it was
Miss
me.
Hattie, I think you're unmiked. If you can,
But you start to show up in life as you.
thank you, ma'am. All righty. So we've got those glutes all fired up. We started at the ankles. We got the glutes all fired up. Now we're going to work the hamstrings. You can stay on the floor. And what we're going to do is we're going to just gauge our hamstrings. Let's see where they can go while we're on the floor here. So take your left leg and bend your knee. Bring it straight up. Bring your foot off the floor. And then go ahead and straighten your leg and see how straight you can get it. I'm sorry you can't see my whole leg. It's up there. Then I want you to take your hand and put it in front of your knee, and then push your knee into your hand as you bring that leg back towards you. And this is giving us a nice active stretch in that hamstring. And then lower it down. Now go ahead and take that same leg, straighten it, bring it up towards you, and see if it feels any looser. So what I want you to do here now is I want you to take your hands and put them on your knee. And then I want you to bend your knee. And I want you to straighten your leg. As you're pushing your leg away from your body, you're bending your knee and you're straightening your leg. And you're bending your knee and you're straightening your leg. But what we're doing here, folks, now just let it go and see if it naturally comes back a little looser to you. What we're doing when we're doing that is we're working this hip flexor. We're contracting this hip flexor right here. We're shortening it, and that allows the back of the leg to get longer. So focus on that if you'd like when we do the right side. So I want you to bring your knee up towards your chest. Go ahead and straighten your leg. See where you can go with that leg. Now I want you to take your hand on your thigh and I want you to push your thigh into your hands. Push, push, push with that leg as straight as you can go. So you might be down here, you might be pushing here. Go where you can go. I don't want you to go past that stretching point. Push your leg into your hand and release it. Now bring it up and see if you've gotten it a little bit looser. Okay, so once again, I want you to take your hands, I want you to push them into your quads. So what we're doing is we're increasing the strength in our hip flexors. We use these hip flexors for deadlifts. We use them to bend over and pick stuff up off the floor. We use them for squats. If they're not strong, your hamstrings are going to be crying at you, okay? So we're pushing we're pushing our thigh into our leg. Now I want you to bend your knee, but keep that push and straighten your leg. So we're pushing our leg into our hand, and we're bending and straightening the leg. We're telling the hamstring, hey, these hip flexors are nice and strong. You can go ahead and open up now. This will give you more lasting stretchability than taking your leg up and yanking on it. By doing this, you're getting a temporary relief, right? You might be getting some nice blood flow. If you do it quickly, don't stay there very long. It's okay after you've worked those legs, but don't be yanking on it and don't be trying to make it a permanent fix for chronic tight hamstrings. You have to engage some other muscles that shorten when your hamstrings lengthen. So that's what we do in this class. This is stretching with strength. All right, so we've worked the hamstrings, we've worked the glutes. Let's work into our lower abdominals. So go ahead and get that pillow for your head. Put it on the back of your head. And let's take our yoga block one more time. This time though, we're not going to squeeze it to death, okay? We're just going to use it to kind of get a gentle grip between our knees, literally just keeping our hips, our thighs in line with our hip bones. But we're going to work these lower abdominals. So you can have a pillow behind your head, or you can have your head flat on the floor. What you're going to concentrate on is working the low back and the neck in harmony. So we're going to be rounding the low back into the floor, and we're going to be rounding the back of our neck into the floor at the same time. Those two areas of the body love to work together. When they don't, you're going to get added stress to one end or the other. So let's take our palms and place them gently on the floor. But what I want you to do is really open up your fingers and act like your palms are suction cups. So you're suction cupping your hands, I don't think that's a word, but to the floor, and then just let the fingers relax. So you can really feel those palms on the floor. That's where our neural input's going to come from for this one. So what I want you to do is drop your chin towards your chest. You're looking at the top of your knees. And I want you to pull your navel into your spine, pull it in tight, and just feel that pubic bone, that ridge of the pubic bone right here, gently tilting up toward your nose. So hold this position. You're flattening your low back into the floor. You're opening up all those vertebrae in the lumbar spine, but more importantly, you're strengthening your abdominal muscles here that are going to stabilize that low back as you bend forward. And go ahead and release. Good job. We're going to do all that again. So the back of the head, the neck goes towards the floor, chin goes towards your chest. We're looking at the top of our knees. We're pressing our palms into the floor, not through the floor, pulling your navel into your spine, tilting your pubic bone towards your nose. And you're holding that, strengthening those lower abdominal muscles. More importantly, you're putting neural engagement there. These muscles might not have been in sync with your central nervous system for a very long time. This move is incredible if you have had abdominal surgery. And release. Let's do it again, because this move, even though it's very subtle, is so incredible. So Chin towards your chest. You're looking at the top of your knees, setting the neck up in a nice happy place. Palms are engaged into the floor. Pull your navel into your spine. Tilt your pubic bone towards your nose and strengthen those lower abdominals. Bring that strength in. Bring that strength in. Hold it in tight. Hold it, hold it, hold it, and release this. This is something you can do every day as one of your morning moves. I encourage you to do it. I want you to hold it for a count of 6 when you do it. More importantly, I want you to rest it for a count of 6 in between reps. So if you could do that 6 times, 6 seconds in between reps, it's really going to strengthen this, which is going to so support your low back. All right, we'll add a little more core strength to this. So we're going to go back into that move. Chin to your chest, navel into your spine, pulling your pubic bone up towards your nose. And so we're going to do a little more emphasis right in here. We're going to add a little crunch. So I want you to think of lifting your head, neck, and shoulders up off the floor, just a little bit. We're not curling, okay? We're lifting straight up. This isn't your typical crunch. This is a glide. So now we're here, our hands are off the floor, and we're going to glide the bottom of our rib cage towards the top of our hip bones here. So I just want you to this tiny little part here, just bring it together a little. So once you're up, you stay at that level. You're not coming up higher, you're up. And think of your hands just gliding towards your heels. So if you keep it all in the same plane, you're just slightly glancing at the top of your knees, and you're bringing your hip bones and your ribs together. Adding a little more strength to that muscle we've just engaged. Nice job. Let's just do that one more time because I want you to get the feeling of the glide. So once you're in place, I want you to pull your navel into your spine. You're pushing your navel into the floor. You're looking at the top of your knees, and we're all in place. We're lifting our head, neck, and shoulders just a little bit off the floor, just enough to give yourself room to glide the bottom of the rib cage towards the top of the hip. So we're not lifting up, we're shooting it this way. So glide, glide. We're shortening these lower abdominal muscles. Glide. 2 more toward your heels. Nice job. Take it down. Go ahead, turn your head side to side. Release the neck a little bit. And let's go ahead and sit up. Remember, we're working from the toes up to the, so go ahead and sit up. And let's put our feet out in front of us, a little farther than hip width apart. And just drop your knees to one side. Let everything roll. Your opposite hip will come up off the floor and roll. Or it might not, but mine does. And roll. And roll. Nice job. Okay, so from here, I'm going to turn sideways. We'll do a little figure 4 from a seated position. So what I would like you to do is just bring your legs out a little and take your ankle, one ankle, and put it on top of your knee. So if your leg has to be out here, that's okay. I'm going to have a little bend so I can apply a little bit of tension in that hip. And then I'm just going to gently use my hip flexor. I'm going to lean my chest forward towards my leg. So we're used to doing these probably on our back and bringing our legs towards our hips. But this time we're going to, you can use your hands. I want you to keep your back nice and straight. We're folding right here at this hip flexor. This hip flexor is getting a lot of attention today. So just fold into that leg, bringing your chest towards the leg. So don't round into it. You're folding into it. So you keep your head up nice and tall. Good work. Okay, let's see what the other side feels like. Could be a whole different story. So you can start with your leg long. You can cross your ankle over the top of your knee. And then you can bring your foot up to where it goes. That's another way to get into this position. And one side's probably gonna be a little different than the other. But remember, we're keeping our spine nice and strong. We're keeping our knee open, little external rotation for this hip. And I want you to fold forward, fold towards your other knee and come back. You can use your hands to push you if you want, fold forward, but keep that spine nice and tall. I don't want rounding over like that. I don't even want to do it right now. It's not good for you. Come back. Push forward, push forward, push forward. And hold. All right. Getting another extra little stretch for back here as well. So let's go back to our seated position. We're gonna give these hip flexors an active stretch because we've been working on so much. So go ahead and take your left leg and cross it in front of you like this at about 90 degrees. Take your right leg behind you, knee bent. Your left hand is your kickstand, and I want you to rise up on your knees into a nice triangle here. But we're gonna stretch the upper body as well. So I want you to reach that arm up towards the ceiling, get a nice wide wingspan across your shoulders. Reach, reach, reach. Go ahead and take a circle of that arm, circle forward. Circle forward. As you're getting this nice stretch here, I want you to squeeze your backside. That's gonna open up those hip flexors even more. So if we want those hip flexors to be open, we squeeze our glutes. Let's circle this arm the other way. Circle it around, circle it around. Open up those shoulders, great job. Let's reverse that. So you're gonna bring your right leg in front, knee bent, left leg behind, and we're coming up to that triangle on our knees. And we're reaching tall, tall, tall. And then go ahead and circle the arm. As you're circling the arm, what are you doing? You're squeezing this backside. These hip flexors have been working today because they were telling your hamstrings, we've got you. They were telling your glutes, we've got you. And now you're giving them some love and opening them up, getting nice blood flow through there, and also increasing the range of motion in your shoulders. Okay, have a seat. Cross your legs in front of you. Let's take a nice big breath as we close out this class, all right? So think of your rib cage just expanding like two balloons. Your lungs are two balloons and they're expanding your rib cage. Take a nice breath in. Fill up those balloons, reach to the ceiling. Now we can bring that rib cage back together by blowing all that air out. I heard this great saying yesterday, guys. Inhale the future and exhale the past. Let's do that. Inhale the future. Bring it in, bring it in, bring it in, bring it in. Reach, 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 reach. Exhale that past. All right. Have a great day, guys. Thanks for joining me. See you next Wednesday for Stretching with Strength.
Thank you, Chris.
You are welcome.
Have an amazing day. And I love that quote.
Isn't that awesome? I learned that in my gratitude circle yesterday. Inhale the future and exhale the past. Hey, Miss Hattie.
I think that will help people remember how to breathe properly too.
Yeah, use it for your vision board thing.
Yep.
Tina. Hattie, how was your talk with Dustin?
It went good. It went good.
Good.
He was supposed to send give you something to tell me what to buy.
Okay, I'll have to check.
Yeah.
All right, for the chill.
I'm fighting this cold.
Oh no. Okay, well, thanks for joining us this morning. Let's talk soon, okay?
Okay.
Have a great day.
Have a good day.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.